it's Julia in the G20. I haven't talked with you for a while because I've been sewing at my friend's place, but now I've left there and I have a general update for you, and I'm going to tell you where I'm going next, which I'm going right after this video, and I will arrive there today, and it's going to be very exciting. I'm very excited about it. So before I tell you where I'm going, I'm going to tell you where I left. So I was at my friend's sewing, and basically I got some sewing done, but the energy was not there. It was not comfortable. It was like glacial speed sewing. Not very fast sewing, but I did have a good time, especially at the end, making the patchwork t-shirt dresses, and I hope you checked out that video showing you a little bit about that. Yeah, the thing is I kind of remembered and more fully acknowledged what the relationship is between my friend and I, and we even talked about it and decided, yeah, we're like so different that there's this underlying love for one another, as I wouldn't even call it friends, just a deeper sort of appreciation for one another from having spent a lot of time together and having a lot of intense conversations and getting to know each other. But we both agreed that we're totally different. And the way that we're different is he's totally negative. He is totally negative. And now I might be negative saying that right now, but God, the guy at every turn, was reminding me of all the things he said to me before. Things like, you can never come up with $500 to rent a room. Or, you can't go do a work trade at that goddess sanctuary in Asheville. Or, just all kinds of I have no faith in you type statements. And he was kind of like that again, just very sort of negative. I'd say something and he'd say, oh yeah, we'll see if that happens. And it was just like that over and over again, and I just realized, God, this person is a really negative, unhappy person. I think he's clinically depressed. So we had a conversation, and I told him how I felt about him saying that I couldn't come up with $500 for a room to rent last year. And he said, no, it's not that you couldn't, but you wouldn't. What's the diff? You're basically still dissing me. So I said, we were talking about this, and I said, you know what? This whole house, his house is unfinished. He had a heart attack, and then he just stopped working on it, and he was doing all this stone work. And there's all these stones just laying around, buckets of nails just sitting out rusting. The work just stopped, and he hasn't got back to it in 2 years. And the worst part about it was that he sits and plays these video games all day. He leaves and goes take a walk. Maybe he'll take his dog with him, but usually not. The dog just sits in the house all day. And then he'll eat, but the rest of the time he's on the videos. And when he's not on the videos, he's on his movies. Anyway, so I sat there and I said, you know what? This whole house, I said, you're never going to get this done. Nothing's ever going to move here. It's just not going to get done. And he got completely offended. And I was like, I am so joking. I thought that you would pick up on what was happening here. I was doing exactly what you did to me. I was saying, you can't accomplish this, you can't do it, you won't do it. He didn't even recognize that. He just got really mad, and I was like, look, this is a joke, and this is what you did to me, so now you know what it feels like. He was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's fair. So that whole experience just reminded me again, those bad feelings, I don't like them. I don't like to be around people who have no faith in me, who make snide little remarks, and then when you question them about it, they're like, oh no, I didn't mean that. That wasn't my intent. It's like, so that's where I left. I was grateful to sew, but man, and when I came into the place and first opened the door, mold and urine smell. And I know you guys are thinking, well, why did you sew there? Well, I almost didn't, but I drove all the way up here to do that, so I did do that. And the first day and a half, we were friends, and then after that, it was just weird. So anyway, so I left there, and the first thing I did was come into Asheville. And the reason I did that was to use my Buncombe County, I said it right, library card and get online. Well, all day yesterday and half of today. Hi. I've been having trouble getting online wherever I go. It's like, first I was at McDonald's and for an hour and a half I couldn't get online, and then the guy tells me, you gotta type in CNN.com and then McDonald's will come up, and it did. So I listed one dress in 5 hours yesterday and didn't accomplish very much. I did look into Earth Haven Community, which is one of the hippie communes here, and they're a long-standing one. Really, it's all about permaculture and sustainable living. And I actually applied with the Medicine Wheel Collaborative, which is a big house with like 12 different rooms, and you rent out a room. Well, you work trade the room. So it's 20 hours a week, work, permaculture, orchards, gardening, digging, work, land work, which I would love to do right now because I'm so haven't done any physical work in a long time. And then with the fees, everything, the food plan, it costs you $15 a month to have a vehicle there because they don't want vehicles there. And then the Earth Haven fees, $30. The whole thing came to $275 a month. That's awesome. Plus 20 hours of work a week. And I thought, it's a 3-month minimum. So I contacted them and I thought, well, I could do that and then I'll just leave in fall. But there's no time to wait and see because I'm extremely uncomfortable in Asheville. And like I said, nothing's going right. I did have time to apply to that, and I got online today and there's no response. So I'm just going to let it go and leave Asheville. And the main reason is, see, I had this inkling of this thought, remembering why I came up here originally. And one of the things was to find community. So I thought, well, I'm looking into it. And I started looking into intentional communities, ended up at the Earth Haven site. And that's why I did that. But, you know, I can't even bear to stay here. Like, even right now, I'm looking around my shoulder. So I came into Asheville, immediately started feeling uncomfortable. I don't know what it is about the energy here. You know, the mountains here, it's a giant crystal. The rocks that they cut out of the mountains here and they make the siding of the buildings here, it's all crystals. It's amazing. I don't know why that doesn't feel good to me, but it doesn't. I don't feel good here. So, trying to get online all day yesterday, and then I went over to Walmart and got supplies, and then I went to park and I noticed nobody's parking anywhere, so they're not allowing anybody to park at Kohl's anymore. But I snuck in over at the PetSmart and ended up parking there last night. But I woke up at 6:15, so I'm on 5 hours of sleep. Woke up happy, eventually got cranky, went to get online at the library, and they're closed today. So I had to come over to Haywood Road, which is the center of West Asheville, which is the part of town that lady that's harassing me owns. That's her part of town, and I'm not to go there. So I risked it, and I went to the library. I just listed more dresses, and went and got new soap, and I went to the Little Village Market, and she wasn't there, and I ended up seeing the owner, who's this beautiful, beautiful woman, and told me to take my negative experience that I had here, which she was drawn into, and find the golden nugget in it. And that's what I was here for, was to learn that lesson. Well, I went into the store and I ended up seeing her, and she said, you look all shiny and new again, just like you did when you first came up here. You look great, you know? And I was like, well, I'm just passing through. I've been in Charleston, and I almost told you where I'm going. So that was a lovely little experience. And I basically was on Haywood Road for about 15 minutes there, and then I came over to a little store here to get one more thing, and I'm heading out on the highway. It's just the weirdest thing that I don't feel comfortable in Asheville, and it's not just that lady or the threat of being served another restraining order with someone I haven't interacted with at all. It's Asheville. I don't know what's up with that. So, backtrack a little bit. The other thing I did was I went out dancing to the Grateful Dead cover band here on Friday and ended up seeing people I knew, and it was all right. Well, actually, I missed most of that show. I went to the drum circle. That's what I did, and I danced my butt off, and it was tribal, and there were babies suckling at the breasts of their mothers like they do in Asheville, and it was awesome. And then I went over to the Dead thing and caught one song. Oh, and then there was another Grateful Dead band playing on top, And my friend was like, here, I'll get you in for free. So, because he organizes the event. And so I did. And I danced almost all night, but I couldn't keep up with the kids and left early and went to sleep. So that's my whole experience up here in the mountains, and then coming into actually the town of Asheville. Um, yeah, I'm like tingly, but I actually feel good now for the first time in a day and a half. And it's mainly because also there's one place that I know I do want to go. I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going. And I don't like that. I want to have a feeling of excitement about going to a particular place. And I do. And that's where I'm going next. So the place I'm going right now today, it's about 1:30, and I'll probably get there about 2, is the Cherokee Indian Reservation. Okay, so the Cherokee Indian Reservation. This is in North Carolina. And it's pretty touristy, but it is a real sovereign nation. Right within our own nation. Excuse me. And just a little bit of really brief history here. The eastern band of the Cherokee Nation, the rest of the Cherokee were in Oklahoma. That's the other Cherokee location. But what happened was, if there was any Indian tribe or people who tried to fit in with the white people and do it the way they wanted to do it and integrate into the society, if anybody did that, it was the Cherokee. They dressed like white people. They had square buildings like white people. They had slaves like white people. They even developed their own written language, because that was one of the things. Oh, these are tribal people. They don't have a written language, so, they're not, real people. They're primitive. So the Cherokee were like, fine, and they developed the Cherokee syllabary, which everybody in the tribe was fluent in within about a year. So they developed a whole written language out of their oral language, so it could be written, and everybody learned it did I say a year? Whatever the time period, it was very minimal. And that's the Cherokee syllabary. What else did many of them became Christians. They intermarried. They did white people agriculture. I mean, they did everything they could do to integrate. And guess what? They still got threatened with removal from their land, which was already secured as their land. So they went to the Supreme Court of Georgia. They went to the Supreme Court all the way up, fought their case, and guess what? They won. They won the right to stay in their ancestral homelands, which is from Georgia all the way up to North Carolina. But guess what? The President of the United States at this time said, if you're going to make that law, the Supreme Court Judge Marshall said, yes, this is their land and they get to stay. You can't remove them. President of the United States, Andrew Jackson at the time, said, well, if you're going to make that law, you enforce it. And that was it. The Cherokee people were forcibly removed to Oklahoma. Now, the people that are here, I'm not quite sure. I think people stayed here and hid out, and others returned here. But that's who makes up the eastern band of the Cherokee, who are now in Cherokee, North Carolina, where I'm going today. I'm so excited. But yeah, that's a sad story, and you all have heard of the Trail of Tears, but I wanted you to know that they did everything that they could to integrate into this society, and they fought their case all the way to the Supreme Court and won, and they still lost. So that just shows you right there, our legal system is corrupt all the way back to the 1800s. All right, so I'm going to Cherokee, North Carolina today. And one of the routes is I could take the Blue Ridge Parkway there, and it's like a part of the route that's like this. Well, I really want to have that experience, but last time I drove a little ways up the Blue Ridge Parkway, I was very, very uncomfortable with the heights. And why take the van through that? So there's an alternate route. It's Highway 19, Highway 40 to 19, and that's going to be just as beautiful. And I'm going to head on over to Cherokee. I'll have the rest of the day there. If I can find somewhere to park overnight anywhere near there, or perhaps, let's see, so they're right next to Great Smoky Mountains National Park, so I wouldn't be able to park in there. Maybe I should get on the parkway and find somewhere to park. It's a parkway, right? So why do we drive on a parkway and park in a driveway? Have you ever heard that one before? So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna head out, and if I can find somewhere to park for the night, I'd like to stay and visit Cherokee tomorrow as well. They're having some kind of summer festival there, and there'll be all kinds of, activities going on. But if not, I'll just head out to the next rest area on 40, sleep there, and then head out on my journey westward. Highway 40 is the route I'm taking. It is now June 4th. I'm extremely late, and it's going to be hot, but what can I say? I gotta go. I gotta go. So that's what I'm going to do. Hey, I'll probably do a video for you in Cherokee, North Carolina. Oh, and by the way, I'm not Indian as far as my family says, and what you see going on here, this is Sicilian, Italian. Sicily's an island off of Italy, and if you ask an Italian, if I were to say to an Italian that I'm half Italian, and they found out I was Sicilian, they'd very quickly correct me that I was Sicilian, not Italian, because the two are very different. So when I say I'm Sicilian, it's, the island off of Italy. So that I'm half Sicilian. So that's what you're seeing here. But, and my family won't acknowledge it, but no less than 2 different Indian elders, Cherokee Indian elders, asked me first if I was Cherokee, and I said I don't really know, and they said that I was, that they could see it in my spirit, in my face. So maybe that's why feel so Indian. But, I hate to say, oh yeah, I have a Cherokee grandmother princess. Everybody says that. And if you were to calculate the numbers, you'd find that there couldn't be that many Cherokee princess grandmothers to support all of us white Cherokee people. So, all right, enough fun and games. I just wanted to give you this general update, and I'm leaving right now, okay? So next stop, Sovereign Cherokee Indian Nation within the United States. How awesome is that? I am so excited to be going somewhere that I actually want to go. And I have no plans. I don't care really about festivals or souvenirs or dances or history or any of that. I just want to be there. I'm just going to go there. There's a river running right through the town, too. It's going to be beautiful. All right. Thanks for watching my videos. This is Julia, the nomadic crafter, in the 93 G20 Chevy van. She's still going. We're both still going. Me and Abu, short for abundance, that's the name of my van, are heading out. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And, I am at 300 plus subscriptions now, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you all for those who have subscribed and brought me up to the big 300. All right? All right. Have a beautiful day. Oh, wow.